Race politics. The race politics in New Zealand, I've got to say, is a warning to us in Australia. You know, we think, got activists saying, oh, we signed a treaty, we'll just, fix it, we'll live in harmony. No, New Zealand proves it will just make things worse. And today we saw the end of a mass march from the New Zealand Parliament of people protesting against the bill to change the interpretation of the Waitangi Treaty. They signed a treaty in 1840 already between Maori tribes and the British. Now, the ACT Party, which is one of the parties forming the coalition government over there, warns that this interpretation has gone completely off the rails. The modern interpretation has been changed so that citizens, well, they don't get an equal say anymore. You know, it's like 17% of New Zealanders who identify as Maori, they're now getting an equal say in the control of some resources like water to the 83% who are not, or that is how it was under the former Labor government. Now that's unequal, that's undemocratic. But as I say, that's the kind of race politics, that's what you get with race politics. It is undemocratic fundamentally. And we saw that already last week in the New Zealand Parliament when politicians in the Maori Party, having lost the Democratic vote, shut down that Parliament with a war dance, trying to intimidate the head of that ACT Party, David Seymour. That was their protest against David Seymour's bill, which would give to New Zealanders the equal right as citizens, whatever their race, equal political rights. I thought that was a no-brainer. But anyway, those politicians complaining about that, doing a war dance instead, should have been mocked by the media, not treated seriously. I mean, why didn't some just change the music to show exactly what fools they really are when you don't have these war cries deafening you? But today again, these protesters against one person, one vote democracy were treated like an overwhelming force, 40,000 of them marching, we were told, 45, but although photos suggest that actually many, many fewer. And I didn't hear any real argument from them on why treating New Zealanders as individuals with equal rights is wrong.
Kill the bill. Kill it.
We don't disagree with it. It doesn't need to happen. It doesn't. Okay, we are a unity. We're one people. That's all we want.
Feel really frustrated and really angry, and it's not right. It's not right that what they're doing to our people, and it's not only for us, but for us as a country as well and as a nation.
So if they're one people, why not treat people as exactly the same? Why racial division? Talking against yourself, lady. Joining me is the man pushing this bill to take race out of politics, Regulations Minister David Seymour. David Seymour, thank you so much for your time. What did you learn from this protest today? And, by the way, from that ridiculous haka that was performed in your face last week?
Well, a couple of things. One is there are people who aren't prepared to have a discussion. They'd rather just assert. And I think really what happened last week with the haka on the floor of Parliament, it showed a total lack of understanding about how parliamentary democracy works. And not to go over it again and again, but basically not everyone can fit in the chamber, so people choose representatives to speak on their behalf. It's critical that they can speak fearlessly and without any intimidation or even attempted intimidation. Otherwise, you're taking away the voice of those people. So a total disrespect for democracy, a total disrespect for the voters by people who believe that they have the truth and the light and the rules needn't apply to them. I think that is a real shame. But ultimately, the great thing about democracy and an open parliament is that it gets to be seen by the people. And I suspect that while they feel they're getting a good run on social media and everyone likes them, actually they'll be finding that people aren't quite so sure in the long term if they want people who are incapable of having a civil dialogue as their representatives.
Well, that's in fact an obvious problem with race politics, that it takes away from democracy and brings in an implied use of force or intimidation.